doing all of her essays and some of her, some parts of her novel, and we were staging those things as well as the plays, and I was looking at Imani, right? And so we were doing it over the course of a few weeks that summer, and I read a lot of her work, and I was like, wow, you really get to know a writer's voice when they're writing like many different pieces of work, you know, and so I started reading all of her plays, and I saw how much she loved her people in her work, and I thought, man, this is beautiful, and how she captures Black women specifically spoke to me, because I haven't seen so many people write us with such love, and I felt like I wanted to do that for my people as well. And then I started reading, so after reading her work, I decided I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna read all the Wilson plays. I'm gonna read this whole 10-play cycle, and I got through about 7 before I got distracted. But so I've now read 9 of the 10, and I just saw what I was reading, and like, dang, again, like what the people of Pittsburgh must feel when they're hearing his work. They must feel so affirmed and so loved, and so like their stories are captured forever. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to do that for Detroit, because I don't like the way that the author of Detroit right now is the media, and they're a negative author. And I feel like we need to have more narratives about our city. And then the last thing is, my parents, this is their era. They lived through this era, and the Detroiters don't talk a lot about this era. So growing up, my generation doesn't know a lot about the riots, rebellion, depending on who you're talking to. And so I wanted to learn about what I thought was an important time period in our history that changed the landscape of our city. And so I decided to write a 3-play cycle. August Wilson wrote 10. I can't commit to that, but I can commit to 3 right now. And Detroit 67 was the first one that I was excited about. Like, I want to look at that year. So that's what I'm doing.
I'm so happy that you were a part of that with Imani, because I knew you all were doing that. Thank you. The other thing that really struck me about the play was the echoes of Raising in the Sun that you hear in there about the bar, trying to buy the bar and the insurance and all that. And Raising in the Sun was certainly a big influence on me as an African-American woman playwright. Just looking at that story and looking at all of that. Were there echoes of that play that kind of were on your mind when you started writing this one?
Yeah, I think that you can't really, it's like it was there, but it wasn't conscious. I think that, you know, I mean, you grow up reading a Raising in the Sun if you're an actress, if you're a Black actress. If you're an actress in general, you really should. But I definitely feel like Black actresses and actors get, you know, that's like our first piece of literature that we get a lot of times. So Lorraine has an influence, and I think without trying to be. So I can't say that I directly was thinking about Raising in the Sun when I wrote it, but I can't deny that it's like a subconscious thing, I think. I was definitely influenced by her growing up, and I definitely remember the situation between Walter Lee and Benita, and I thought their brother-sister dynamic got explored in a different way in her play. But I have a little brother, and I wanted to write a brother and a sister again. The one thing I had not read before I wrote this was The Piano Lesson by August Wilson. And when I saw it, people had asked me, were you inspired by Piano Lesson? And I was like, no, I haven't read it yet. And then I read it, and then I said, oh, maybe I was inspired by it. And I just didn't, it's in our stories, but I think that Black people have, we are a family, like worldwide, and we have stories that get passed down in the oral tradition. And so I feel that I've snatched some of those stories, and they've gone into my psyche, you know.
Do you know what the next 2 plays of the 3-play cycle are going to be? Do you know what era they're in? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, they're both written, and they both had a lot of work. The second play in the cycle is going to be produced at Williamstown Theater this summer. It's called Paradise Blue, and it's about 1949 during Detroit's jazz era, and it's looking at an area of Detroit called Paradise Valley, where there was a burgeoning Black business, and it's on the brink of 1949, the year a Housing Act got passed that eventually led to the building of the 75 freeway